Hi everyone, please let me know if I'm audible, if I'm visible. So please let me know. And today is very special day. So happy Republic Day to all. And if I'm audible, please let me know as well. Hi guys. So today we have a special guest with us. Sir Samir sir is with us. And sir, please introduce yourself to the audience, and we will start the session after that.
Sure. So, hi everyone. I'm Samir Dubey. I work at Home Credit India as a data science manager. I've been working in data science for the past 8 years or so, and I have an experience in building data science solutions from ground up. I was in data science field at a time when data science had just begun, and it had started solving a lot of problems for the industry. And now I think that as we all know how it has evolved into new fancy terms, AI and everything. So I have seen this entire journey, and I just hope that today in this session I would be able to kind of give you insights into what data science is all about and how you should approach it.
Yeah, thank you so for your introduction. And guys, feel free. You can add your question in a comment section. In a starting very phase, we will do some discussions related to data science, generative AI, and after that, but we will start taking your queries. Whatever queries comes in your mind, just put it in the comment section. All right, guys. So should we start? I think, yeah, audible. Thank you, Masood. Thank you. Okay, guys. So please let me know, sir, that this very buzzword, generative AI. So what do you think that is it comes under the data science domain? Because data science is a huge umbrella. So inside that, a lot of domain, a lot of profiles are there. So is that generative AI comes under that or what?
Okay, so let me kind of define data science a little away from the fancy terms which are being used in the industry, but more related to kind of how it really helps the industry. See, industry basically has only one agenda, and that is to make more and more business, right? And whatever science may helps them make more business, right, is their business science, right? And data science is nothing but just a part of it, right? It's just how you crunch the numbers, you come up with some patterns, you tell them, okay, this is the area where your product will sell more, you go sell their product, sell your product there, your sales increase, and that is data science, right? That is all, right? Now you bring in anything on top of it. For example, generative AI, yes, it is an extension of data science, but eventually, unless and until it brings some sort of ROI to the table, right? I think it won't be accepted by anyone. So actually, this is a trending debate in the today's industry whether generative AI is actually going to bring any ROI or not. So we are yet to see evolutions in terms of what ROI is generative AI going to bring to the table. So to answer your question, data science, generative AI, they may be brothers, I would say, but eventually you have to think of it like, I want to learn a technology which would help a business increase their revenue, sales, dhanda. In the end, that is all it is about.
Yeah, okay, so got it actually. So guys, sir, one more thing is that, so in what domain, like two different domain are there, we can just separate it actually. So in which domain student or a professional should focus nowadays? Because people are just focusing more in AI domain. So which domain is better according to you? What do you think?
So, all right. So, see, the data science typically works in with machine learning, and it's generally used. It's basically use of data to find some insights into your existing ongoing process, right? To break the normal and to do something else which can eventually bring you results, right? It can be anything. It can be increasing the sales, or it can be optimizing an existing business process, or anything for that matter, right? That is what data science typically does. It is mostly used with the tabular data sets that exist for us, and we kind of try to handle those data sets using advanced softwares like Python and others, and we kind of try to find some insights, right? Generative AI, on the other hand, has a role to play in the media that is being the kind of media that we are generating day in and day out, right? For example, conversations or the images, etc. So it has a bigger role to play in that area, right? So if you want to separate the two out, I would say if you are very much keen on understanding the business processes, enhancing them, you should definitely choose data science. You should pursue that. But yes, at the same time, you should have an understanding of what
Hello.
generative AI is, how is it working, because it is an industry trend, right? Am I audible?
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure, sure. It was stuck, but
Yeah.
now it's fine.
And yeah, and at the same time, you should do generative AI if you want to kind of ride on the wave of, emerging technology, which is going to change the way humans interact. Yes, you should get on board there and, kind of ride on that. But if I were to simplify these two things down, right, I would say if you are a person who believes in optimizing business processes using the data, go for data science. And if you are a person who believes in working with cutting edge technologies, go for generative AI.
Okay, sir. Thank you. You classify it very well, but there is one question I think that's come in my mind.
Yeah,
In
sure.
terms of business, you just classify it. But what if we are just classifying it in terms of skills required to just get into it? So, what are the skills required to get into that data science field? Or is there anything specific we need to learn to get into the generative AI, or the same thing will work? What will be there?
Okay. So from the way generative AI has evolved, to be very specific, you of course to get into this domain of AI itself, right? AI is a very large domain. This data science is a part of it. Generative AI is another part of it. If you want to get into this domain, right, there are some ground rules that you should be aware of. Everyone should be aware of, and that is you should have first of all a neck for data. You should be able to understand data numbers, right? That is the one important ground rule. You should be mathematically a little sound. It's not that you don't have any prior experience with mathematics, and if you feel like that you will use Python and everything, you will learn it, and you just want to ride on the wave because everyone is doing it, so I will also do it. I'm definitely sure you may do it in the end, but there will be a lot of hardships on your road, right? So irrespective of which field you're talking about, you have to definitely have some these ground things you should have at your disposal. Mathematics, of course, a programming language at your end. Once you have these two things, this is where your decision comes in. This is where your skills come in. A data scientist must typically acquire more and more skills of business analytics, whereas a generative AI professional should acquire more and more skills of these new trending technologies which are coming up, say APIs, say model deployment, say this chat GPTs, LLMs, lang chains, vector databases. So these are the skill sets you will require specifically if you want to land into generative AI, right? Whereas if you want to go into data science, you should understand, of course, data. You should have a very good understanding of Python as a as a programming language, and you should have understanding of business analytics to go about it. If that
Uh,
answers your question, yeah.
Yeah, so sir, I hope you guys got the things what you have to learn to get into the generative AI and what you have to learn to get into the data science fields. Our agenda is that what is the roadmap to get into the data science. We will come on this particular thing later, but as who join later, so let me say once more that happy Republic Day to each and everybody who is watching this video and who will watch it later after some time. So guys, and one more thing is that like if you have any questions, we are doing this thing like there is a one famous debates is going going on right now, 70 hour 90 hour work, so we are just extending ourselves, and on that Republic Day also we are here to help you, to guide you. So if anything comes in your mind, any question, any doubt is there in your mind, so please feel free to ask in the chat section. Sir is here, he will give you absolutely fine answer whatever you want to listen. All right. So okay, so please ask your questions. I will just mention to the sir and he will answer them. Before that, sir, one more question in my mind. You added like mathematics part whenever you're answering that, how much mathematics is important. So can you please elaborate that part, mathematics, how much we need to learn to get into the generative
Definitely.
AI or data science field, how much mathematics is
Definitely.
important?
Yeah. See, if you want to be a generative AI sort of developer, right, you don't need a lot of mathematics, to be honest. You just need to understand a basic architecture of neural networks, how they really work, and then, kind of relate every model to that architecture, right? So you don't have to have a very good or extensive knowledge of mathematics if you're just going for the generative as a generative AI developer. Yes, you should have a very good understanding of programming languages for sure, because see, these things are like core, right? I mean, programming language is like core. If you do not know programming language, you will not be able to implement anything on the ground, right? So of course you should know programming languages. That is the first prerequisite for any of these things. So as I said, if you are going into generative AI, you should have a basic high school level mathematics understanding. Let's say 12th standard level of mathematics understanding, you should have that. And then you can probably go into that field and you will, I think, do very fine if you understand the models well. A lot in this particular field, that is generative AI, works on integrating multiple technologies. For example, let's say you want to take up chat gpt, so you must know how to integrate your python with chat gpt using an api. That is the first kind of integration, right? Let's say then you want to kind of pull some context and you want to give it to chat gpt, right? Let's say you want to pull some kind of data and tell chat gpt that I want my answer like this. Then that data you will store in some database, so you will need an integration with vector databases. Now to pull that data from vector database, give it as a context to chat gpt, you will need to understand rag, right, which is there, right? Then multiple things, right? And then you want to further connect it, you want lang chains and everything to actually create a pipeline. Then finally you have a model. Now you want to kind of, make your model into production. Then you want to, deploy it using apis. Once you have deployed it using apis, it just goes on. It's like connecting multiple dots together. You have to be more aware of many technologies, which is important in this, on this front, which is on generative ai. Let's talk about data science. Well, I would say if you're going for as a data analyst, it's fine, you can have the same level of mathematical background, it will work. But as a data scientist, I would never recommend that. If you do not have a good understanding of mathematics and you land into data science, it is definitely going to be a problem, that I can guarantee, because there is a regression. Then when it will come up, it will actually, test your waters in terms of your understanding of linear algebra, etc. And then, this whenever you will learn, and without statistics you cannot just do any kind of data science. So of course statistics is a very important prerequisite. So these are the things that you must be aware of when you are going for data science machine learning specific roles, where if you're going for generative ai specific roles, you should have a very good understanding of programming languages and the technologies which surround it.
Okay, so guys, I hope it is very clear that if you are want to just go into the generative AI domain, mathematics is not that much important in that particular thing. But if you are going for the data scientist, where you have to deal with the data, for dealing data, it might need a greater knowledge of, I will say, not that much high level, but statics knowledge you required at that particular thing. Is it
And
right, sir?
let me add to this, Prince. Within generative AI domain, also there are two types of domains. Okay, one is you are going as a generative AI developer, where you are going to pick on existing models which have already been developed. Okay, for example, Chat GPT. If you are going to use Chat GPT like models, you are fine without mathematics. But the moment this same thing turns into that, you have to now train a model specific to our company, right? Let us say you have a model. Let us say there is a model Claude, right? Now let us say you have to train such sort of model for a specific use case. Again, now this is where the overlap with data science specific roles comes in, right? Now you have to know all the mathematics of neural networks, how the training happens, what is the dropout layer, what are the parameters, how the hyperparameter optimization happens. Everything you have to know then. So yes, that's what I'm saying, right? If I could draw it, there are two circles, and there is an overlap between these two circles. On one side there is a data science, on the other side there is generative ai. But the overlap is basically, this overlap between generative ai and data science is also pretty huge, which is also in very much demand these days.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, sir. So I hope you guys just got the answer. How much mathematics is required and when it is required for you. There is one question, sir. So many students are asking whenever they are just trying to learn data science. Their first question is that, so I'm not from the, I will say, I don't have a degree in a data science domain or a AI domain, something like this, or a IT sector. So can I transition in that particular field? Is it possible? How much time it will take to come into that? So how to tackle these things, and what is the correct answer from your side to these persons?
Yes, I will kind of try to answer that, because I myself have not exactly face that problem, but I have seen people, a lot of people facing that problem. So in the initial times, when I remember, from what I remember, in data science domains, companies were primarily hiring from tier 1 and tier 2, tier 1.5 colleges only. Okay. I
Hmm.
landed a job in data science because I was from Delhi College of Engineering, so I could actually get a job there. But companies were very pretty stringent on this particular, because it was a very niche technology. It had just come in, it was evolving, and obviously when something new comes in, the quality needs to be maintained, right?
Yeah.
But with this explosion that has taken place of data, right, data has literally exploded. So if I'm being honest, this data science is like a ritual that has happened, which is there for all the companies. Every company now wants to have a data scientist. Back in my days, companies, these small companies, small FMCG companies, right, which we would deal with, they would look at data scientists like, oh, what are you really doing, right? We are the ones who are taking care of the actual process, right? Underwriting is a job, data science is not a job. But slowly and gradually, everyone realized the need of data science, and now most of the companies that I particularly know of have a data science domain, have a data science department in their organization. In fact, it has come down to a level that we have started hiring CDOs. CDOs are chief data science officers, or
Hmm.
CAIOs, chief artificial intelligence officers, and this is only going to grow in future, right? So
Hmm.
now this explosion, just try to understand how it really started, and now where we are right now. Now it has exploded, and the market has gone open to a wider audience, because of course we cannot have so many people from tier 1 colleges or degree holders or anything, right? Yes, there is going to be a filtering layer where they would want you to be a level of to actually exhibit a level of smartness, right? And that is all you need, right? That is all you need. Going forward, we will talk about how you can really crack the industry if you do not have a degree in data science or anything. But believe in me, these degrees in data science have just started, hardly 2 years back. Before that, there were no degrees specific in data science. A lot of courses are happening. I would say keep it very normal, don't be antagonized by these degrees. Just try to kind of improve yourself. Have a very good rich GitHub profile. I typically believe that a GitHub profile is your degree, or your
Hmm.
Kaggle profile is your degree. So that is the sort of degree you try to have. That sort of degree. Have good conversation skills. Try to reach out to a wider audience on LinkedIn. So if you follow these 4 or 5 things, you will definitely not need a degree specifically in data science. You will be able to very well crack the industry, and it is fairly easier, to be very honest.
Hmm. Yeah, okay, sir. So, guys, so you got the answer. Is degree required or not? Somebody is mentioning in the chat section. I think I left university. I have no university. Not at all any issue. Okay. So you can maintain your GitHub as a new degree. So it will help you. Right, sir? Okay,
Definitely,
sir.
definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, sir. There is one question. I hope you are able to see it. Pratish Rane
Okay.
is saying,
Okay.
sir, how did you get it started in DS and AI? What were your approaches? Please try to answer this.
Okay, so back in the times when I was applying for jobs, so I was doing my master's from Delhi College of Engineering, and there we were applying. I was applying for jobs, and at that time, data science was not this famous. So what we would do is we would typically focus on competitive programming. That was our thing that we would do as an engineer. I'm telling you, but I will also give you another perspective as a non-engineer. Okay, so I started applying as a I would typically learn this competitive programming. Geeks for Geeks is a very famous website. I
Hmm.
typically what I did is I learned 500 questions of Geeks for Geeks, and I would practice them day in and day out. And mostly companies would come and ask that sort of questions only. Now what happened is I got to know about AI. So what I did is I decided to prepare my thesis in AI only, right? So I got an idea, and in colleges, who is that serious to work really on the thesis and everything, right? So it's more of a formality sort of thing, to be honest, right? So we did also that, right? Got codes from here and there, sort of project, showed things, in whichever way you can imagine. And then, of course, when the company came in, They asked me, one company came in which was of data science specifically. It was Liquid Up Analytics. It was a startup back then, later taken over by Capgemini. So they came in, and you won't believe it. They asked me questions around, they did not ask me any question around DS or AI. They asked me questions around this competitive programming only. Because, as I said, companies want you to exhibit a level of smartness, right? You don't have to be really perfect data scientist. You cannot become a perfect data scientist unless and until you are in the industry, right? So I was placed from there. Then when I got into industry, I realized the data science that I was doing is very, very different than from the data science which happens in the industry. The theory and practical is very, very different. So, guys, I'm telling you this very honestly. You will learn data science when you are in the industry, when you will see your data science work. You will, that is where your real learning will happen. But in order to reach there, of course, you should be prepared. You should have your concepts very, very sound. So this is how I landed there. But times have changed. Now they are very specific to data science only. So of course they will expect you to have certain degree of understanding of data science. So it's not going to be that. It's not going to happen that way. Either ways, you will land a job in science if you are street smart. Everything in India works with street smartness. Have a good understanding of your subject, and you will definitely land. So probably I'll share some tips around what you should do, a roadmap, as Prince already said, we will be doing that going forward.
Yeah, sure, sir. Actually, sir, you told your story. So, what is your story whenever you get your first job? Can you tell something about that? How you get this first job and what is the struggle behind that?
Okay.
I have
Okay, as I said, so multiple companies came onto my campus, right? Rejected 4 to 5 times from multiple companies, right? Sometimes I could not crack the first round. Sometimes I was out in the last round. So these things would happen. So I will tell you, for everyone who is watching this, I would tell you, right? Whenever you are rejected from a company in towards the last rounds, it feels like it's over, right? I cannot go through this process again, right? The process is so tedious that you are actually, HR calls you, then you go for the rounds, and then you wait for the approval to the next round, and so on. The process is so tedious that you are literally blown, right, with the entire process itself, right? So I think that is where one specific thing comes in, and that is resilience, right? I was in the same place, I was in the same shoes as you after multiple rejections, right? I would really feel dejected, and I would really feel like this is over, I cannot do this anymore, right? But yes, eventually these interviews will give you a perspective towards the interviewer's psychology, first of all, right? That what exactly interviewer looks for in the interview, that is the first important thing. And this will also give you a perspective towards the kind of knowledge that you acquire. Because if you're not giving interviews, what you would do is you would be actually doing everything you hear from your surroundings, right? You hear data science, you will do data science. I said competitive programming, someone would start doing competitive programming, right? This is how it happens, right? But when you're giving interviews, when you're actually on the ground giving interviews, you will know what exactly to focus on, right? You will know your focus areas, right? That is one thing. Second, you will understand your interviewer psychology. What does he look for? And let me tell you, an interview, you do not know what might click an interviewer. You just don't know. One question, which was the hardest question he asked, you answered it right. But 9 other questions you answer wrong. But he may remember that one question because probably he framed that one question, right? And you answered it. So he's impressed. So you never know what might click the interviewer. So I would suggest give a lot of interviews. This actually helps you, go forward. Even when I'm in jobs and everything, I should not say this, but I kind of apply in companies where I do not want to go. For example, I would apply in Bangalore. I am staying in Gurgaon, so I would apply in Bangalore, right? Just to understand what is trending in the market, in the interview market. So this is sort of my experience, and this is how it all happened, and this is the takeaway from the experience.
Yeah, okay, sir. So there is one question, sir, from my side actually. The question is that in the class, so many students are asking like that, sir. we are learning the things like data, ED, and all these things. We are learning generative AI as well. But what we have to do in our industry, is it same, or how much it is different from the thing we learned, or from the thing that we have to work in the industry? So what work you are doing actually, and which tech part you are just working on right now?
Okay, so I'll kind of refer back to what I said in the beginning, and I will kind of tell you also my experience when I went into the industry. So I was also very fascinated by the technology which was coming in, and I would come up with any ideas that would come to my mind, that we will design this, we will design that, anything at all, right?
Mm,
So if it was up to me, I would have built a SpaceX, right? So that is
mm,
the kind of approach actually I had at that time. And but what I realize is, so what is different between you are doing right now and what happens in the industry is a layer which is the stakeholder, right? Who is going to use your work, whatever you build, whatever you do. Let's say you
mm,
make a data science model which predicts housing prices, let us take for
mm,
example.
mm,
Now what comes between your passion and this use case is the stakeholder, the person who is going to use it. How will
mm,
he use it, and what will he bring to the table if he uses your technology? If that is resolved, if that part is resolved, right, your use case floats. There is no difference between what you are doing right now and what happens in the industry. But you have not seen this layer yet, right? This is the only challenge that non-experienced personals face. They have not seen this layer of stakeholder yet, right? You will take your use case of housing prices, they will ask you hundreds of questions around it, right? That okay, where will you use the model, how will you deploy it, what benefit will it bring, what is this, what is that, multiple things will come in. That is the kind of experience that you have missing right now, right? So when you will go, that is what I'm saying, you are doing it right. This the same thing happens in the industry, but you have to get it passed through some people in the organization who will approve of your model and say yes, now it is usable in this form, right? That you do not know, and that is where most of the challenge comes in, right? So this is the only difference, right, between what you are doing and what happens in the industry, to be honest.
yeah, okay, sir, thank you. So there is a one question from the Vikas. Please take it.
Yeah, I have no experience and now I'm searching for job for data science. Please guide me. Okay. I think this is the right time to answer this. I think, see, because whenever you are coming across this problem, that is, you are searching for a job and you do not have an experience. As I said, first of all, have a very good portfolio, correct, on Kaggle. So when you go to Kaggle, there are two options. One is you solve the problem, right? The other is you explain the problem, right? If you must have observed on Kaggle, there are two options, right? Whenever a new challenge is launched, there are two problems. One is you solve the problem the best way, you get the prize money, right? The second thing you can do is you make a very good compact notebook which explains everything about the problem. So I say, Vikas, don't focus on the first part, which is solving the problem. Focus on the second part, which is explaining the problem in very much detail. You keep doing this for 4, 5, 7 projects, right? When you will do this, this will kind of build your profile, and you can actually share your Kaggle profile with someone while you're looking for a job. This will serve as your experience, right? This will say that yes, I have actually explained this many problems on Kaggle, and probably you also get upvotes for while you solve the problem, right? So if you've gotten some upvotes, that is also good. Parallelly, for the same problems, you also build a GitHub profile, right? So you have all that work that you're doing there recorded on GitHub as well. These two things, first of all, you do. Parallelly, look for internships. Internships are the best way when you have no experience. They are like a certificate given to you. When you do an internship, you get a certificate that I know what the industry is working like. So consciously or subconsciously, the recruiter actually will think that this guy has an idea about industry. For example, we as a company, we do not hire freshers, right? We have a thumb rule. We do, because why? We are very domain specific, we are finance specific, we want people who have some idea of the finance, but we somehow hire people who have done some internships, right? Because now we know that yes, they are coming from that sort of background. So I would strongly recommend two things. One is build your profile on Kaggle and GitHub. Second is apply for a lot of internships, get internships and gain experience. And the third will be stay aware of what is happening around you, right? If you are staying aware, if you know what technology is trending, how to solve a particular problem. If you are aware of whatever is happening, you are anyway ahead of 95% of the people out there, because I can guarantee this: 95% of the people, even in the industry, are not aware. Okay, so because if you follow this three-layered model, I think you will definitely excel. I would not say this is a full-fledged framework to cracking a job, but this is definitely a framework to bring you up as a person. And when you will present yourself in this format, I think you have more chances of getting converted. So getting a job without any experience and everything, and you are applying in the open market, is like cracking a sales pitch, right? So you will reach out to 100 people, probably five of them may respond, one of them may get you an interview, right? This is how this should work, right? So the fourth pillar, I would say, Vikas, would be you're building your network as extensively as possible on LinkedIn. There's a fifth thing which I do, which is an extension of the fourth thing, which I still do. That is, I whenever I see some exotic profiles on LinkedIn, like say I came across a person who was specializing in using data science for operations management, that is operational efficiency. And I hit him on LinkedIn. I asked him if we can connect and I can try to understand what you're really doing and etc. And it was a really good long discussion. So how I pitch it to them is like, you can share your experience with me and I will share whatever I have with you, right? So it was a very good conversation. We went on for like hour and a half, and I kind of got to know how exactly data science is used in logistics industries for operations management. So these are the kind of things that you can do to maximize your chances.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, sir. So many questions are there, but I want to, sir, let you know from your side that can you give me the shortest path, like roadmap for a data science, that first you have to learn this, then this, then this. So can you just summarize something regarding
Okay,
this?
sure. So, guys, what I would suggest is, now since this generative AI has come in, right, the role of data scientist has become multifaceted. How, I will tell you. Earlier, it was expected out of us that we would only analyze the business, use Python, analyze the business, find some results, and give the results back, and then probably give a working model. Then probably some other deployment team would deploy that model, right, and it will go in, right. But now actually the role has become very multifaceted, when this due to this generative AI coming in. Now I would say the kind of approach you should have is, first of all, start with as simple as a query language, that is SQL. Okay, simple, right? So you understand SQL. I won't say master it. I will never say that you master SQL. Don't learn about, I would say, skip the part where procedures, triggers, all these things come in. Primarily, if anyone is taking notes, so primarily focus on the joins, the chain of joins, right? Group buys, having with group buy, then where with group buy and joins, right? How you can actually mix and match all these things up, right? Joins, group buys, having, where, all these things, how you can mix and match. So focus on this part, right? Which is the first part. I would say, since you are have to learn a lot of things, so I would say skip the procedures, triggers, all these things, which are for advanced people, right? There are specialized people for that field. This should be a first thing to go. Second, come to Python, right? Learn Python with a similar approach, right? I would say, have a very good understanding of, first of all, the data structures of Python. What are the list, tuples, dictionaries? Then have a very good understanding of the data frames and NumPy arrays in Python, right? Once you are good with this much, third thing you should do is, now you know SQL, now you know Python. The third thing you should approach is EDA, that is exploratory data analysis, right? Why am I keeping EDA at the forefront? Is because this will not only help you practice Python better, and I will also give you tips to how to actually practice EDA and where to find EDA solutions from. So do a lot of EDA. Once you have learned this much of Python, that you're comfortable with pandas and NumPy, practice a lot of EDA. Do a lot of EDA. This will actually make sure that you learn enough Python for the first place, and also you get very comfortable with the data. Now you will start understanding the data, right? Okay, what exactly data is like, what are dimension tables, what are fact tables, how should I approach aggregation, where should I not approach aggregation, multiple things. You will get a very 360-degree view of data when you are doing a lot of EDA. Once you have done this much up to EDA, you are now eligible to apply for jobs in the data science market, to be very frank, right? I'm not saying you go to machine learning, learn machine learning and everything. Start applying for jobs as soon as you are good with EDAs, right? Parallelly, learn statistics, which is very, very fundamentally important. Learn statistics, have a good understanding of everything about statistics, and then learn not much, but 4 to 5 algorithms of machine learning. That's it. So this should be your path. Let me repeat this. You start with basics of SQL, go to Python, learn Python, be good with these two technologies, do a lot of EDA. This will ensure you have practiced a lot of Python and also are you are comfortable with data. Go to statistics, learn statistics, go to 4 to 5 machine learning algorithms specifically and point out which machine learning algorithm. You should be very good with linear regression, logistic regression, and 2 or 3 tree based algorithm. That is it. I'm not saying you study the world, you study the moon. No, you study these 4 machine learning algorithms, you are fine. Once you have done this much, keep applying for interviews and keep moving forward in terms of deep learning, in terms of multiple things, right? So this is a pathway for statistics, right? Not statistics. This is a pathway for a data science specific. But as I said, the role has become multifaceted. So people are nowadays expecting you to be good with cloud-based technologies, Spark, this, multiple things have come in. I would suggest you keep your focus on whatever I've said, this part. And once you're in the industry, you can learn a lot more. For example, you may have to learn Hive, you may have to learn Cloud, you may have to learn Spark, etc. etc. So go in this order. I think that this is the best way to learn data science from my perspective.
Yeah, okay, sir. Thank you. So I this was a very detailed answer. So guys, sir, specifically mention the thing, mention the algorithm, the focus area you should focus to get into the industry. You should not cover everything, whatever comes under the data science umbrella. So the specific and be smart, and just that's the thing you have to follow, and hopefully that you will get whatever you want. So there is one question from Sidney. It is, I think, really interesting. So please look into it.
Sure, sure. I'll take this question up. So Siddhant, you are from non-tech industry, which is fine. It again totally depends on your caliber and your hunger towards technology. That what sector do you want to go in? For example, if you're very hungry for technology, you can definitely go for data science. But given your question, I would suggest you try to see, first of all, wherever you're working, in whatever segment you're working, you try to see how do you think can generative AI come in and play a role. Okay, because there are many use cases of generative AI, not just one or two. There are many, many use cases. So I would suggest you first of all try to in your existing job only, because in the future, generative AI and these applications are going to impact everyone. I'm telling you, every single individual, right? So try to see if this kind of applications can actually fit in your current role. For example, you may be for marketing or sales. Just try to see what tools of generative AI are available out there and try to utilize them first of all, right? So now you are good and you understand generative AI basically. This is the first step, okay? You understand what exactly are the tools which plug in to your current role and how exactly generative AI is going to create an impact. Second, I would say start learning Python if you want to go into this field. Start learning Python and start learning how can you integrate all the tools in generative AI world with Python, right? To make a difference, right? To make a difference. And try to see how it will again impact your own industry only. How can I automate this particular thing? Think of things that you are doing again and again, again and again, how and you feel like this could be automated, this could be replaced. So I would suggest you go this way. But the first step you should take is learn Python very well, because that is the core fundamental base if you want to go into IT sector specifically. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Actually, there is so many questions are there, so I'm going to take one by one. So
Okay.
Pratik Zadav is asking,
How to communicate with stakeholders. Okay, so this is more of a business analytics perspective, Pratik. So try to understand. I would say I would just give you certain thumb rules and which you should take forward. Whenever you are speaking with stakeholders, first of all, take a default no. Whenever you're taking something of your own to stakeholders, then just imagine a default no is going to come from their side, because no one wants to step out of their comfort zone and adapt to something new, right? Which is the biggest problem actually. Okay, how you should communicate to stakeholders is by showing them a benefit of their own, right? That if I do this particular, if I make this algorithm, if I deploy this algorithm, this will bring this to the table, right? You communicate that metric very, very clearly. First of all, define what is it you're doing, that is for you, but define what you're going to achieve for the stakeholders. So have a metric very clearly defined. Second thing, right? Third thing would be, how would you achieve that metric? I will tell you what I mean by that. So, for example, let us say you want to make a data science process which will improve the sales of a product. Let us just take, for example, you should have a very clear vision of what your output will look like and how will that output go into that stakeholders pipeline, right? For example, they are running some, let's say, promotions, and you're trying to improve the promotions. So you should make sure how exactly your predictions are going to go into the promotions environment, so you can see the benefit that is coming out. Okay, if you have this thing established, right, with the stakeholder, that is, what is it that you're going to achieve, how is it you are going to implement with them, so you can measure what you're going to achieve. Okay, if you have this thing clearly communicated, then you take the final step, which is, I will give you this much uplift, I will give you sales uplift, I will give you ROAS, I will give you this, that, right? Then you talk about their benefits, and if they're impressed, of you can actually go ahead with your solution. So framework should be ready: metric, framework, and execution. Metric, framework, and benefit, these are the three things I would suggest you have at your end before communicating with the stakeholders.
Yeah, okay, guys. So if you have any question, please just put it in the chat section. We are going to take the question at a very fast pace. So we have to sum up. Already 40 minutes is done. So please, sir, try to give the answer in a very short pace.
Sure,
Like,
sure, sure. Okay, industry every day some new every is going up for us. How can you cope up with these changes? Okay, so I will tell you how you do it. I mean, it's a everyday activity. You have to make sure that you read half an hour, 1 hour a day. First of all, rely on a lot of newspapers. They give up the best of the news which is happening around you, right? For example, the Economist, the New York Times, etc., etc. What you can also do is have a separate email ID and a separate Instagram account, right? Because these in from these sources, the information is literally flowing towards us and we are not able to grab it. Have a separate Instagram account and have a separate email ID. Using that email ID, search the internet whenever you find something good and interesting. Subscribe to the newsletter, their newsletter, right? So what will happen is, in that email ID, you will keep getting their newsletters, right? You will keep getting the newsletters. So subscribe to 100, 150, 200 channels like these, right? When you will do this, you will every day get some 200 newsletters, right? Then you can just skim through what you want to read, what you don't want to read, and just read the important parts, right? That is for reading. Same approach you can take for Instagram. For Instagram, what you can do is you can just have a separate Instagram account and watch only AI related content. Search AI related content, read only AI related content. You will have a continuous incoming inflow of all the AI related content on Instagram, which is a very good part. Third thing I would suggest is read the tech blogs of the industry leaders, Meta tech blogs, what they are doing in AI. Search right now, Meta AI tech blog. You search it right now, you will find enough information on the website. Misho's tech blog is so impressive. I tell you, they have a very, very impressive tech blog, Misho, right? So you just check the tech blog out. Similarly, you can find multiple tech blogs. Then there are some conferences of AI happening worldwide. ML Conf is one of them. Go to them, right? Just look at their conferences, kind of download their text, some give it to chat gpt, it will summarize what has happened in that conference. So these are some of the ways that you can totally take to stay updated.
yeah, okay, sir. Thank you. It was very good answer. Actually, I also got some idea how to deal with this, because every day we have to just update and student as well. So if I will do something like this, so it will help me to do these thing in a very less period of time.
So
Yeah.
I'm basically actually planning some content on this only this AI, generic AI, basically not generative AI but generic AI, so everyone can understand, no matter person is from tech industry or non-tech industry. So I'm kind of planning some content where everyone can actually understand how they can use AI in their day-to-day life. So that is why I'm researching a lot on these things. So I just kind of gave you the exact framework that I am I am following.
Yeah, okay, so you were saying that you have some content you want to share with the students. So if you wanted to share, so I'm sharing one link to the students so they can join this, and over there I will share the content. So guys, I'm sharing
Sure,
one
sure.
link
I
in
will.
the
What
chat
I will do
section.
is whatever I've spoken of, whatever pathways I've given, and whatever frameworks I've given, I will kind of summarize that into one or two documents. Allow me until tomorrow, guys. So I will be sharing it today. I will prepare it and share it across. So you will have something, some notes in place, so you can actually utilize that. I think
Okay,
we have
guys. So
one more
whatever the
person.
thing, yeah, thank you, sir. So we will share it on the dashboard. I have shared the link. You just go and register it, and after day after tomorrow, I think today or tomorrow, we will post the document over there. All right. Okay, guys. So there is a question. What kind of Python programming questions are usually asked in coding rounds for the data scientist?
Right. So I will just tell you one specific framework that you should follow is that you first of all have a very good understanding of the simple things in programming questions that happen, right? Because what happens is whenever interviewer is taking your interview, what he will do is he will start with very, very simple things, right? He will ask you very simple things. What people do is they skip the simple things and they go on and learn the advanced things, right? And what happens is the interviewer will start with the simple things and he will ask you very, very simple questions and you will not be able to answer this question. Your game is over then and there. Now he's not going to ask you any advanced question. He will close the interview in 15-20 minutes. So start with some simple questions. Have a very good, as I said, have a very good understanding of data structures, lists, Pythons. Practice some questions around that area. Then go to Pandas, NumPy. Practice a lot of questions around that area. Some interviews somehow ask, some libraries like Beautiful Soup, etc. So have a little understanding of that. That is all you need.
Akhil, while you're asking, sir, please look into this.
Yeah, yeah, sure. I was working as ML engineer in MNC, but these days data most call are on LLM. I have learned them via online, but still not getting call. Can you please say how do I get call? So what do you mean by call?
Yeah, he's actually
Okay,
asking for the interview call.
okay,
He's not getting.
okay. So Akhil, okay, so this is actually quite a scenario. So you are working already as an ML engineer. You should get calls ideally. How are you not getting calls? If you are not getting calls, how will I get calls? Okay. Anyways, so Akhil, so you are in the perfect role to be very honest. You have learned LLMs, which is also great. If you're still not getting calls, I would say suggest you optimize your resume. That is the only challenge I foresee that your resume is getting rejected a lot, and probably you should change your applying technique, right? How you're applying for jobs. Probably if you're just clicking on LinkedIn apply, in today's world that does not cut the chase, to be honest, right? Only IITians get a call from LinkedIn apply, to be very honest. It does not cut the chase. You have to chase HR, you have to find other ways around, which is a different topic altogether. Let's not go there, but you probably have to optimize the ways in which you are searching the jobs. You are an ML engineer, you are also know LLM, you are a perfect fit for this industry. There's no way you cannot get a call.
Okay, Makwana.
Yeah. Yeah. So
So,
what are the
sir, just
questions
wait.
the company asks data scientists involving generative AI? See, the technology is still very immature, to be honest. So even if you have a very good understanding of the flow, that what to integrate, where to integrate, how does it work, that will be enough. No one is going to go deeper into these sort of roles as of now, as far as I know, because they themselves do not know, right? To be very honest. So I would suggest focus on the framework, core understanding, core things. Do not go very, very deep for interview preparations of generative AI based roles. Focus on that area, you will be fine.
Yeah, okay. So, guys, so it's already 48 minutes. So, we are going to end within 5 minutes. So, ask anything, whatever you comes in your mind. So, I'm going to take some of the last questions. So, these are the questions, sir.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure. Yeah, there's one. I have 1 year experience in MIS reporting. Can some company accept below 3 years experience? Yes. Please guide me. Okay, so see, you have an experience in MIS reporting. You have a very good edge that you are already very comfortable with the data. Now, all you have to do is you have to learn Python, right? And if you have a data science team in your organization already, I would suggest spend some time with them, right? If you have some teams already in place. If you do not have those teams, I would suggest make a use case of connect with a lot of people on LinkedIn. Tell them what kind of data you are already dealing with and what kind of data science use cases can be made out of them, to be very honest. Okay, you kind of put those use cases as projects into your resume. Don't say that I was the only one working on it, but you can pose yourself like I worked as a team member in handling this kind of data science project. Okay, so this is the only way to go about it. If you are already handling data, you use it, utilize the information about the data, try to curate a data science use case out of that and pitch it as a project in your resume. So one project of that, whatever this made up project, and three, four projects you can put off MIS reporting itself. I think that will give you an edge. I would still say that you will have to work harder towards getting recruiters to approach you.
Okay, so there is a question, but before that, I want to ask one question that the famous important debate some days before it's so very peak, and the debate is 70-hour work week and 90-hour work week. What you think about that?
Okay,
What
so
your opinion in
so
that?
I would say, Prince, this is a totally personal choice. Okay, this is a total
Okay.
personal choice. I would say there are two aspects to it, right?
Hmm.
Why companies say this, I will also tell you that. So there are
Hmm.
two aspects to it. If you are a founder, that you have founded something or you have a stake in the company, right? Let us say, I would say you should work 70 hours or 90 hours. You should have that kind of acumen to work that much. If you are a
Hmm.
founder, right?
Hmm.
And if you're not a founder, you are an employee, I would just say you work smart, get your work done, no matter what time it takes, right? And
Hmm.
enjoy your work, most importantly, right? If you're enjoying, you can work 70 hours, 90 hours, it does not matter to you, right? To be honest. But I
Hmm.
would still say if you are not a founder, I would say work and get experience out of the job, and learn something new. And if you really have to work 90 hours a day, I would say parallelly try to build something which would kind of make you a founder. So that is my take on this. Instead of working 90 hours for some company, I would say practice enough. Probably in the beginning you work 90 hours, practice enough so now you can do the same problem in 10 hours only, right? And the rest of the hours you devote to yourself, to your self building, or to kind of make yourself a better man. It can be anything. You could start something parallelly, or you could just adopt a new activity, like let's say you start playing tennis or cricket or whatever. So that is my take on this. If you're a founder, definitely, of course, you have to work 90 hours. There's no doubt about it.
Okay, so the question from the Sohail is that the important question. I think I was expecting this question. Salary expectations, the most important question, I will say. So, as a
So
process,
it depends. It totally depends, right? If you're in a university and someone takes you up from there, the salary can be sky, right? To be honest, right? Because I've seen salary packages of 50 lakhs, up to 50 lakhs, in from universities specifically, right? If you're in a good university, I'm talking about that. Let's say you are, so is not the case for you. You are now looking out in the market. You're a fresher and you're looking for a role in data science, and you are also not from a good university. Let us just say this is the case. Then you can still, if you're good enough, you can still expect a package somewhere around 8 to 10 lakhs, right? This should be your expectation. I would say do not exceed your expectation beyond this, because that's not going to happen, to be honest. But yes, once you are in the industry, you have worked for 1 year, you have put in everything, and you've learned a lot, your package is going to skyrocket from there, right? Now coming to the second part, which is if you're already experienced but not experienced in data science, and let us say you're experienced 5 6 years of experience in some other domain, there may be chances that you may even have to take a cut, and you have to come down, a couple of lakhs down, to get into a data science role. But again, you will, once you are there, so basically in such cases you can expect somewhere around 15 lpa, if you are already experienced but not experienced in data science specifically. Now let us say you already have a experience, 1 or 2 experience in data science only, then I would say you can easily expect a package of somewhere around 20 LPA, to be honest. So this is how this industry is driven. But if you have worked for a very long time, say 7 8 years, you can easily expect a package around 50 LPA, to be honest.
So guys, there is a one announcement. So please look into it. Who are not just register or join in Huron. So there is a Republic Day, a special 10% offer. So you can enjoy that offer as well. Everything is there, and I will share the link so you can connect to the Huron. Please go and check this. Okay. So thank you guys. And there is a one last question from the Makwana. I'm just stopping my screen, so we will just properly. Sir, there is one another question. It is from another domain, I think. Okay.
Okay, this is quite some much. I would say for this, I don't know. I mean, you will have to probably go to Silicon Valley, fail a couple of times. So the only answer I can think of is you start a startup in, first of all, you start a startup in US, that too in Silicon Valley. Okay. And then you fail 2 3 times. So you build 2 3 startups, you fail 2 3 times, and then then you tell Elon Musk, probably on some day he has smoken something, that I have failed in Silicon Valley 2 to 3 times. So I think
Uh,
then you will land a job there in
what?
astrophysics. Let me take
Yeah.
this up seriously now. Okay, let me also take this up seriously now. No passion is small or big, right? If you're thinking in this direction, it's really good. I would really say that I don't know how to land a job in astrophysics at SpaceX, to be very honest. But I can definitely, if you will hit me on LinkedIn, I can connect you with some people who are working for startups, some space related startups in Bangalore, right? I can definitely get you connected to those guys, and they will definitely give you a very good insight into this. So this is on a serious note. So hit me up on LinkedIn. I will definitely kind of get you connected to someone who would definitely help you out. And with this question, I would also ask them this question: how to land a astrophysics specific job in SpaceX.
So, guys, there is the last question I'm taking. After then, we will just sum up the thing. And the question is very simple from the Sam Sarkar at the beginning level. I just wanted to know, add one thing in that last question. Whatever I think Makwana Sivam has asked, how to get into the Elon Musk company and something like that. There is some tweet Elon Musk has done, I think 4 or 5 days ago. He was saying that no matter from where you are coming, so if you have something that you have built something amazing, just share me. I will take you. So go for that,
Definitely,
right? Build something and
definitely,
just tweet him. He is very active on Twitter. Just message him. Okay, if you have that much caliber, he will select you or whatever you want. He will do whatever with your caliber actually. Okay, sir. So please take this.
definitely.
Okay, Sam. So go directly, just build something and approach him. That's it. He's very much available on X or Twitter, whatever we call. Just
Exactly,
go.
exactly.
Yeah. Sir, at beginner level,
Yes.
what should
Yeah, at beginner level you should more focus on understanding things from the core. Theory, I've seen a lot of people, what they do is they learn a lot of theory, they focus a lot of theory. So I would say 20% of theory and 80% of coding, that is implementation on the ground. That should be your approach. But of course theory is also important. You should understand the concepts first, you theoretically, then only you will be able to apply them. So 20% theory, 80% of practical. So that is my answer to you, Sham.
Yeah, okay. So, guys, thank you for joining us. Thank you for asking these many questions. And I hope, sir, that one last question from my side, that what advice you want to give to the student who are just preparing, who are in their struggle phase, what you want to suggest them or as I advise them?
Sure. So what I would say is two things. I would just say one important thing, Prince. So what I would say is, do you know what is 95 percentile plus 95 percentile?
Hmm.
It is actually greater than 95 percentile, right? So basically the idea is very simple in today's world, that be better than 95% of the people in more than one area, right? It can be data science, it can be generative AI as well, it can be ML deployment as well, it can be cloud technology as well. Whatever you do, be better than 95% of the people who are out there. And it is very easy to be better than 95% of the people. Just think of it from the perspective, if you were applying for MBA, you can easily get a 95 percentile rank or something, right? So same applies in any industry for that matter. So I would say that be good at data science, but have an understanding of whatever is going around data science, that is generative AI, what exactly is happening in generative AI. Read about, if not practice, read about how do these rags work, how does this multiple things, right? LLMs work, how do these lang chains work. So I would say just this thing would help you grow personally as a new entrant. That is how much knowledge do you have of this field. This will show your passion, this will also show how much you are aware, and at the same time practice on a few things which you think are within your control. For example, Python, machine learning, coding, right? These are the things that you can control, right? So practice on them as much as possible. At the same time, be aware of the rest of the technologies which are around this area. So that is my advice
Yeah.
to all of you.
So thank you, sir, for giving such wonderful answers. And I hope, guys, you get clarity. Whatever the queries you have, everything is just sorted, cleared. So thank you, guys. Last time I am already twice I told that Happy New Year. Sorry, Happy Republic Day. So again, I'm saying the same. Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining us. Thank you.